So we love what we saw from him. Yesterday, this room was abuzz with what we saw from Caleb as well. What did you see from him in his preseason?
From Caleb?
Yes.
I mean, it's doing the extraordinary ordinary. Like you expect there to be fireworks every time he takes a snap because of the way in which he's always trying to maximize and squeeze the most out of every play. Now, I think he understands, and I'm sure Shane Waldron, offensive coordinator, is telling him, look, we don't need the extraordinary every play, but you know the possibility exists there. And even when there's chaos around him, you saw him there where he just dumped off that ball, there to the running back. I mean, he's under, to DeAndre Swift, where he's under pressure and he kind of throws it across his body like this and turns his head. Like, a lot of quarterbacks don't have the poise to do that kind of thing. Then you saw the throw he ripped rolling out to his right and threw it back left. That ball looked like it was shot out of a jugs machine. I mean, he flicked his wrist, and that ball was on a rope, screaming. Guys just can't do that. They just can't. And he has fantastic weaponry around him, fantastic production up front, a running back who right now in Swift who wants to show that he is still an elite caliber runner, a defense that is on the rise. Look, to me, I have said this all along. This year, this throw. I mean, just watch this. That ball is screaming, and I saw him throw in person, so I know what it looks like and what it sounds like coming off of his hand. This is more about Shane Waldron this year, the offensive coordinator. I'm telling you, the scrutiny is going to be on him. If this does not pan out right, you want to talk about Nick Sirianni in Philadelphia with all the weapons they have? Shane Waldron, I'm telling you, is going to be the guy that is in the crosshairs this year because he's got so many things to work with, and this guy is a unique talent.
He's the offensive coordinator, the new one there in Chicago, for those who don't know. Matt Eberflus remains as head coach, but they made the change at offensive coordinator. How about it? What did you see through a GM's eyes, Mike, from Caleb Williams in his debut?
Yeah, very similar. I mean, it's hard not to get excited because you could see the things that are hard to do outside the pocket, throwing across your body, downfield, outside the numbers, and accurate. Now, look, if you want to pump the brakes a little bit, Greeny, you would say, neither team that played, Washington, Chicago game plan, and obviously they'll see more complicated coverages. But for week one, boy, in preseason, it was really encouraging. Now, the big thing, we saw Caleb Williams slide. We didn't see Jaden Daniels slide. And I'd be every day talking about protect yourself. That was something when we had Mark Sanchez as a rookie, Greeny, he did not do naturally. And despite the success we had, that was always a big concern, was about when to protect yourself. And that's something that rookie quarterbacks have to learn pretty quickly.
So I totally agree with what Riddick was saying about Shane Waldron having all of the heat on him, because it's just so obvious to me that Caleb Williams is for real, and that obviously the Chicago Bears have plenty of weapons. And so if they don't make this work, it's going to be Eberflus, it's going to be Shane. I mean, they're just going to have to clear house, I mean, because it's just like, it's there for them. Right? I really think that the Chicago Bears can have success now. I've been saying that I think that they'll make the playoffs. And there was the other question earlier: can they win the division? And it's like I start to flirt with that idea. I think it's the hardest division in football, and I think it's an absolute gauntlet. And I think the way how it could possibly happen is that all these teams kind of split against each other. Right, that a lot of these teams maybe go one-on-one against one another, against the Lions, the Packers, etc., and they all do it to each other. The Lions and the Packers against each other, the Lions and the Bears and the Vikings, and however it unfolds. And if you can eke out that extra win or two, it's like boom, you win the division. Right? I don't think any team's going to win the division by like 2-3 games. I think it's going to be by a game, maybe even some tiebreakers. So it's going to be tight. Like, it just is. And so I think that there potentially then is that potential. Plus, you also you have no idea how injuries are going to unfold. Injuries always unfold throughout the season. So it's just a matter of who are the injuries going to find and at what time, right? You just have no idea. And that will most likely honestly play a part because the margins are so small that any little kind of edge like that or deficit can have a major impact. But I mean, it is hard to not get excited about what you see from Caleb Williams and what he's able to do. And I think he's incredibly lucky to come into the league at this time because Patrick Mahomes has given the blueprint to how to succeed with someone like him. Andy Reid has given the blueprint on how to succeed with someone like Patrick Mahomes. It's balancing the magic and the basic, right? Understanding you don't have to be magical every single play, knowing when to check down, knowing when to rely on the run game, knowing when, just because you have Caleb Williams and you can do anything, to kick a field goal, right? We know that. We know that that works with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. We know that. We know that. And so that's the blueprint. They have it right there perfectly. Multiple seasons to look at to see how to go about it. Right? It can't be disputed, the levels of success that Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid has had. And now Caleb Williams gets to look at that, and Shane Waldron gets to look at that even, and they get to really use that as the blueprint, as the steps of how to succeed. Just like Patrick Mahomes was able to learn from Tom Brady and say, when I take a little bit more team-friendly deals, I can get better players around me, build a better team, a better locker room, build better respect, and I win more. Oh, and I make that money back because since I keep winning, I get to do all these State Farm commercials and anything else under the sun. Like, Tom Brady is the one that really kind of set that. Because obviously his success can't be understated. And people always talk about Tom Brady taking that discount. And Patrick Mahomes did that from the jump. And again, kudos to Patrick Mahomes for doing it, but he learned that from Tom Brady. That just, again, can't be debated. So you're always learning from the people that come before you. They're the ones that, it's always the next generation of people to kind of leave off where the people who came before them and kind of take it to the next step. So Tom Brady kind of showed his path and showed that path. And Patrick Mahomes said, great, I'm going to take some of these things. And then I'm also going to do some of my own. And then now, obviously, he's not retired, obviously, but, he's kind of gone far. And now Caleb Williams enters the league. And now he gets to say, okay, maybe my contract, I will also take more of a discount. And, the way you win is to not try to win a shootout every single game. And it's more strategic about when you throw across your body. Just because you can doesn't mean you do it every single play. Like, you just learn. You learn. Once you see what's possible, you're able to kind of go from there. So I really think because of Patrick Mahomes' success, it's going to accelerate the speed at which Caleb Williams can have success. Just like Patrick Mahomes' success was accelerated because of what Tom Brady was able to do. If Tom Brady didn't show the way of how much you can win when you take more team-friendly deals and how that can benefit you, Patrick Mahomes probably doesn't do that. Patrick Mahomes probably takes more money, and then maybe Travis Kelce leaves. Maybe these other things start to happen. The way how the teams get constructed just change. Maybe they can't keep various players. Maybe they do have to cut a player or two, right? Like, you just don't know. And so I think that Caleb Williams, because of all of this, because he could see Josh Allen, because he could see Lamar Jackson, because he could see Tom Brady, because he could see Patrick Mahomes, it's just, he's got so many tools and such insane potential. Which that's so great is that he doesn't have to figure it out from square one, because there's so many paths to use. He's going to have to figure out what makes him him, and he's going to figure out what allows him to kind of now move the needle even more, right? To move it to the next step, to kind of take off where Patrick Mahomes has. And that's going to be his own journey, but fortunately he doesn't have to figure it out in day one. Just like Tom Brady didn't, and just like Patrick Mahomes didn't. So that's the luxury. So to me, the foundation that Caleb gets to build is off the backs of all these other quarterbacks, and it's just going to help him tremendously to be able to have immediate success. So I got my eyes glued on this one. I'm really, really excited. And the only thing that I'm not excited about is that every single Caleb Williams game with the Chicago Bears, they're going to bring up Patrick Mahomes. And they're going to laugh. They're going to be like, oh, does that remind you of another young quarterback? Oh, you don't mean Patrick Mahomes, do you? Oh, yes, I do. It's going to be the same generic nonsense over and over and over. I don't mean to be to jump ahead of ourselves, but is it possible that he's actually better than Patrick Mahomes? Whoa, settle down there. But, this kid definitely can be, maybe one day, but, Patrick Mahomes has a thing or two to say about that. Like, it's just gonna be like, okay, please stop talking about Patrick Mahomes. We're watching the Chicago Bears. I just know it. They're going to bring up Patrick Mahomes every 5 seconds throughout the broadcast, and it's just going to make you want to just, punch yourself. because you're going to have it where that's what they did with LeBron James and Michael Jordan. You know, like every broadcast, Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan. It's like, we're here to watch LeBron. I love Michael Jordan. Love him. Can we just focus on the player in front of us? So that's the one thing that I'm already kind of like having to accept, to be like, watching Caleb Williams, these broadcasts have the potential to get really annoying, because they're going to talk about Caleb, obviously, but they're also going to just talk about some of this other nonsense. So get ready for that. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? Do you think Caleb Williams will be set up to have immediate success? And what do you think about Patrick Mahomes and some of these other quarterbacks kind of showing the way of how he can kind of navigate this landscape and how he can maximize it sooner rather than later? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.